Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well today. So today's tutorial shall be the making of this beautiful crop box top, which can be made in less than 15 minutes. Yes, that is what we are going to be making in this video. If you are new here, you are welcome. This is Donlarrie, and here on this channel I upload sewing tutorials, pattern drafting and DIYs. Consider subscribing guys, and also remember to turn on the notification bell so that anytime I upload a new video you will be notified. So to get started, we're going to be drafting out the pattern and then we cut and sew on the fabric. So this is the fabric that I'll be using. This is an 100% African print fabric, so you can use any cotton fabric of your choice. And these are the tools that I'll be needing. So if you like to purchase any pattern making tools, I'll put the link down in the description box. Do check it out. So to get started, you're going to be needing the following measurements. You will need your bust measurement, the top length measurement, the shoulder measurement, the armhole depth, the sleeve length, and the upper arm circumference measurement. So we're going to be starting with the bodies, and the first thing you will do is to rule out a top line, which will be our shoulder line. And from that shoulder line, you're going to be inputting your top length measurement. So this is a crop top, so you can make it your waist length, above your waist length, or wherever you want it. So I would like mine to be on the waist length, so I'll be marking 16 inches for the length. So, and this will be my waist length. So this will be the waistline. So once you've done that, we're going to be creating the neckline. And for this top, depending on how you want it, you can make the neckline high or you can make it low, depending on how you want it. So I want mine to be 4 inches by 3.5 inches. So the neck width will be 3.5 inches. And the neck depth is 4 inches. So you can play around with it and just use any measurement you want. And then we're going to create a nice curved shape. And also it depends on the shape you want for the neckline. So I'll be using a round neck shape. Like this. So once you've created the neckline, you're going to be inputting your shoulder measurement. And my shoulder measurement is 15 inches. So dividing 15 inches by 2, I will be having 7.5 inches. So for this type of top, I want to extend the shoulder by 1/2 inch. So I'll be making the shoulder 8 inches. So I'm marking 8 inches. So which means we are adding 1/2 inch to our shoulder measurement. So if your shoulder measurement is 16 inches, dividing it by 2, you will have 8 inches. Then you go ahead and you extend the shoulder line. So you can extend it by 0.25 inch, which is 1/4 inch, or by 1/2 inch. So I added 1/2 inch to mine. So here I mark 8 inches instead of 7.5 inches. And from that 8 inches, I will go down by 1 inch just to create that shoulder slope. Then I will connect. So now we have our shoulder slope. So once you have your shoulder slope, you're going to be inputting your armhole depth measurement. If you don't know how to calculate your armhole depth measurement, I have a tutorial on the channel on how to draft a basic bodice pattern. You can check it out. So my armhole depth measurement is 8 inches. So this is 8 inches, and we're going to be dropping that down by 1/2 inch as well. So you go down by 1/2 inch. So I'm marking 8.5 inches. So 8 inches is the original measurement. So I'm adding 1/2 inch to that. So I will now draw an horizontal line, which will be the chest line. And then I will also square down the armhole depth line. So having done this, the next thing you want to do is to divide your bust measurement by 4. And in my own case, I have 7.75 inch. And you're going to be inputting that measurement on the chest line. We don't need to draw out the bust line for this type of top. So I'm inputting 9.75 inch like this. And then you're going to be adding ease allowance to this. Ease allowance is different from the seam allowance. So depending on how comfortable you want it, So you can add half an inch. So I'll be adding half an inch. You can add just 1/4 inch. So I'm adding half an inch to mine, like that. And whatever you mark here, this is what you will mark on the waistline. So I will go to the waistline also, then I will mark 9 3/4 inch, then half an inch for the ease allowance, like this. Then I will go ahead and draw the side line. And once you've done that, now we can go ahead and create the armhole curve. So to create the armhole curve, find the middle point of your armhole depth line, so which is 4 1/4 inch in my own case, like this. So once you've marked the middle point, you're going to be connecting that middle point to this point. So we're going to be drawing out a slightly curved line, so like this. So this is how the armhole curve will look like, and this is what we're going to be cutting out for both the front and the back. So we are cutting both the center front and the center back on fold, and we're going to be adding the zip to the side. And another thing you can do, if you don't want the back neckline to be as deep as this, and that is what I'll be doing, is that we're going to be inputting the back neck depth. So you can make the back neck depth 2 inches. I'll be making mine 2 inches. You can make it 1.5 inch, or you can make it 3 inches, or you can leave it at 4 inches depending on how you want it. So I'll go ahead and connect this point to this point just to create the back neckline. So now we have the back neckline and we have the front neckline. So I will label this as the front and this will be the back. So I will go ahead now and add the seam allowance to it. So for the waistline, I will add just half an inch seam allowance to the side, half an inch seam allowance to the armhole, half an inch to the shoulder, to the neckline, half an inch seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and do that, and after that I will cut it out. So I've added the seam allowance, as you can see it. So I added half an inch around this pattern, and we're going to be cutting out 2 pieces for this pattern, which will be the front and the back, and we're going to be cutting this part on fold. So you cut on fold, but if you are adding the zip to the back, it means you're going to be cutting one on fold, which will be the center front, and you're going to be cutting the back with the zip allowance, which means you're going to be cutting out 2 pieces for the back. But since we are adding the zip to the side and we've dropped down the armhole curve, which will make it very easy for us to put it on, we're going to be cutting 2 pieces and we're going to be cutting it on fold. So now we're going to be drafting the sleeve, the matching sleeve for this pattern. And to do that, you're going to be needing your upper arm circumference measurement and the sleeve length. So the first thing you will do is to draw out a line, which will be the sleeve head line, and from that sleeve head line just input the sleeve length. So here I will be using 8 inches for the sleeve length. So whatever length you want, just go ahead and input that. So this will be the M line for the sleeve, and once you've done that, you're going to be inputting your cap height, which I will be using 5 inches here. I have a tutorial on how to draft a basic sleeve pattern. You can check it out on the channel, and I will also put the link down in the description box. So this will be the bicep line, and this will be the cap height. So the distance from here to here will give you your cap height. So the next thing we want to do now is to input the upper arm circumference measurement. So you will divide that by 2, so which is 7 inches in my own case. And once you've done that, you're going to be adding half an inch to this. Remember that when we were drafting the pattern, we dropped down the armhole depth by half an inch. So you're going to be adding that half an inch to the upper arm circumference. So I'm adding half an inch. So once you've done that, then you can go ahead and square down the line from here through to the M line, or you can just take away half an inch. This is half an inch that we added to it. Take it away, and then you input your upper arm circumference measurement on the hem line. So the upper arm circumference of 7 inches, that is what I would mark on the hem line. I want to have a little bit of shape for the sleeve, so I will just join this together, and as you can see, we have a little bit of shape. But if you don't want it like that, if you want it free, just go ahead and square down the line like this, just a straight line. And once you've done that, the next thing we want to do is to create the sleeve head cuff. So what you can do is to, if you want to have a matching sleeve, you can come here to your pattern and then you mark from the shoulder tip. You measured down to this point, not on the seam allowance. So if you measure it like this, so here I have 9.25 inch, which is 9 1/4 inch. So you can just come here also and then you cross check if you have the same thing, which I already have here. So I have 9.25 inch. So what I will do now is just to connect this point to this point using the French curve. So I will just place my French curve like this. So like this. So you can see the way the sleeve head cuff is slightly curved. You don't need any ease like we normally have for the sleeve, for the basic sleeve. You don't need any ease for this type of sleeve. So that is how you will go about it. And once you're happy with that, just go ahead and add your seam allowance around this pattern, and I will just add 1/2 inch seam allowance around this pattern and I will cut it out. So I've cut it out and this is what you have. So for the sleeve, you're going to be cutting out 2 pieces for the sleeve, and you're going to be cutting out this part on fold. So now that we are done drafting the pattern, both the sleeve and the bodice pattern, we go ahead and cut on the fabric, and this is the cutting fabric that I'll be using. And I will also cut out the lining exactly the same way I'll be cutting this out. So, and if you're not adding lining to it, but I will suggest you add lining to it. If you want to have a neat finishing, go ahead and cut out the lining, but if not, just cut out the facing for the neckline. So you're going to be cutting out the back facing and you're going to be cutting out the front facing. And since we drafted this together, the first thing that we do is to cut out the back bodies using the back measurement here. And once I'm done with that, I'll be trimming off the back neckline, and then I'll be adding the seam allowance for the front neckline, which will just look like this. So this will be the seam allowance for the front neckline. So that is what you will do. First of all, cut out the back, and after that, trim out the back neckline, and remember to add your seam allowance to the front neckline, and then you cut out the front pattern. All right, so I've cut it out on the fabric, and this is the back with the lining, this is the front, and this is the sleeve. And for the sleeve, I didn't cut out any lining. I will just fold the hemline twice and stitch it down. So that is what I will do for the sleeve. So what you're going to be doing, the first thing you will do is to place the lining on the right side of the fabric like this, and then you're going to stitch it at the hemline and also at the neckline. So you do the same thing to the back, and then to the sleeve, just like I've said earlier, I will just go ahead and fold the sleeve twice and stitch it down. So that is what I will do, and I will quickly do that and show you what next. So as you can see, I've stitched it at the neckline, the hemline, and the side. Let me show you at the other side. So once you've stitched it at the side, the hemline, the neckline, turn it to the right side and iron it, and this is what you will have. So you can see how neat the hemline, the side, and the neckline is. So this is what the wrong side will look like. So we are only left with the armhole and the shoulder slope. So the next thing you want to do is to, once you've turned it to the right side like this, you're going to be placing the front and the back together, right side facing each other, and then you're going to be joining the two together at the shoulder. So right side facing each other. So you pick the one on top like this, pick the one at the bottom, and then you're going to be pulling the lining, the back lining, you pull it over to the front like this, and then you're going to stitch it like that. So you do the same thing to the other side. Okay guys, so I've joined it at the shoulder, as you can see it here. So this is what the shoulder looks like. I hope you can see this. So this is the right side, this is the wrong side. So you can see we're already having a neat finishing. So this is what the inside looks like. And also for the sleeve, just like I said earlier, I've stitched the hem line, as you can see it, and I also join it at the side. So this is what the sleeve looks like, looking pretty. So I have two pieces for the sleeve. So the next thing we're going to be doing now, before we attach the sleeve, is to join it at the side. So we're going to be joining it at the side, and we're going to be attaching the zip to one side. So I'll be using the invisible zip. You can use any zip that you want, and this invisible zip, as you can see, it is very long. It means I'll be cutting it out after stitching it. So the side that you're going to be attaching the zip to, this is what you will do. You're going to be turning it to the wrong side, and this side that you're going to stitch all the way down. So you can mark it, chalk it down like this. So it means you're closing this side, and the side that you're going to be attaching the zipper to, you're going to be stitching it just like half an inch or 1 inch. So you can see where I mark here. So you just stitch it through to the armhole cuff. So you're going to stitch that and stop here. And once you've done that, you're going to be attaching the zip to the other part, the open part. So once you've attached the zip and you've done it at the side, so you're going to be turning everything to the right side, and you're going to be remeasuring the armhole cuff. So you need to do that. That is very important. So you make sure you remeasure that and make sure it matches with the sleeve head cuff. And once you are happy with that, just go ahead and attach the sleeve like this, and then you are done with your crop box top. So I will go ahead and do that, and I will show you guys the final look.